Have you ever fallen in love with someone who only exists on your phone? Welcome to the 21st century, where love is measured in emojis, and the end of a romance can be as silent as a scene at 10:14 p.m. Today, we're going to talk about the delightful chaos of digital relationships.
I was once ghosted by someone who sent me good morning with coffee and a heart every day. And you, Andrew, have you ever been a victim of the famous disappeared because you're confused message?
Besides the time you ghosted me, only about 98 other times.
You weren't supposed to say this here, Andrew.
But you asked.
Forget it, Andrew. These days, a new form of romance has emerged. Apps, likes, and DMs. Apps like Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge beg the question, what changed in the way we meet someone? Besides, when did we trade flirting for matching? Why do we use match as instant validation?
I think it's a question of superficiality versus practicality, Ava. If you have the option of meeting someone, getting to know them, right at your fingertips, why would you leave the house to do it? The worst that can happen is nothing.
That's where you're wrong, Andrew. A lot can happen in these online meetings. I'm the one who doesn't take that risk. I prefer to meet people the old-fashioned way.
But the traditional model also has its risks. Even if you've known someone for a long time, there's nothing stopping them from ghosting you. For those unfamiliar with the term, it's like disappearing without explanation and pretending nothing happened.
Then there's orbiting. That's the most annoying. The person simply disappears, but they still see your stories. And sometimes they even like them. That's so childish, I don't even know what to say.
And then there's soft ghosting, which is a milder form of ghosting. The person doesn't disappear completely, but when they respond to you, they only give vague, spaced-out answers. It's as if they want you to feel bad about it.
The next topic on our agenda is couples who live for Instagram. What do you think of them, Andrew? Those couples whose entire life story is there on Instagram for everyone to see.
I don't think that can even be called a real couple. I honestly don't see much difference between that and a romance movie. The only difference is that in movies, the protagonists always end up together. As for couples, I can't say much about them.
Wow, that was heavy. And a little realistic. Life really isn't a romance movie. And people forget that when they start the movie for the audience without knowing the ending.
Are we still talking about movies?
We're not. Not at all. The truth is that instead of seeking a real connection, people nowadays are looking for more of an emotional curation. It's more emotional dependence than a relationship.
And all this exposure has a huge impact. That's because we're in a constant state of comparison. The grass is always greener on the other side. The same goes for relationships. We always think the couple next door has the perfect relationship, but maybe they're just hiding it really well.
It's just that people these days are afraid to show their vulnerability. Some because they haven't had pleasant experiences with relationships, others simply because they think they'll look weak if they allow themselves to be open.
Why are so many people afraid to get involved? It's as if dating were a bogeyman, and people are running away from it while also chasing it.
It's a paradox. While people want something, they're afraid it won't work out, or they're afraid of simply getting what they want.
I think it might also have something to do with this culture of not getting attached and taking it easy. With these new types of relationships that are emerging, people end up adapting to their emotional needs.
And technology amplifies this a lot, doesn't it? With new technologies, new needs emerge. But besides technology amplifying this, I think it also increases our insecurities.
Sometimes we even ask ourselves, what's real anymore? Because we can meet someone on an app and they're nothing like we imagined. Is it possible to love someone you've never met?
I don't know if it's possible, but I find it strange. Especially because relationships involve all the contact. Without that, it's like just a friendship.
You'd be surprised at how many long-distance and digital relationships people have these days. I have friends who date virtually, without ever having met the person in person.
But do they date like that, without even seeing what the person looks like?
Of course not. They exchange photos, videos, make voice and video calls. It feels very real.
That's when we can't trust. With the advancement of artificial intelligence and deepfakes, we can no longer trust someone we've never met in person. The other day, I saw a case of a woman who fell for a scam. She simply sent money to her online boyfriend. She thought she was dating Elon Musk. But it was a deep fake. He even video called her and everything.
This is wrong in so many ways. I don't even know where to begin. There are really a lot of bad people on the internet. People may not be who they seem, but there are people willing to take risks. Everyone is an adult and of legal age. It's assumed they know what they're doing.
And how do you find the truth in a world so full of scams and lies?
That's where honest communication comes in. If you're honest, even if it's just a drop in the ocean, it makes a difference and makes the world a more honest place. As for those who take advantage of the system, there are punishments for them. It's not right to play with someone's feelings like that.
Well said, Andrew.
Take advantage of the fact that I'm feeling inspired today.
Now let's read confidential screenshots. We'll read screenshots of conversations, anonymous of course, that clearly show what we're talking about.
This first case is polite ghosting. One person starts with, "Hi, how are you? I really enjoyed our chat yesterday." The other replies, "Hi. Yeah, it was great." But then it's time to get straight to the point. The first person asks, "Would you like to do it again this weekend?" But they get a solid rebuff. Look at the response. "So, I'm going through a bit of a rough patch right now. I need to focus on myself, you know?" This is almost a confession of disinterest. Then, to avoid adding to the mood, they reply, "Sure, I understand. Take care." And that's the end of the conversation. But then, look at what the disinterested person posted.
A story from the bar at 9:30 p.m. with the caption, "Total focus." Yeah, you can tell he's really focused.
This is the famous ghosting with a spiritual veneer. "I need to focus on myself" has become the new, "It's not me, it's you."
And the story from the bar? The cherry on the cake of digital contradiction. It would have been less embarrassing to have said I didn't want to.
And look at this one. It starts with the classic, "Hi, you've been missing." Then the person responds that they're busy and all. Another classic. Until the person gets tired of beating around the bush and gets straight to the point. "It's okay. I just thought it was weird that you see all my stories and never respond to my messages."
That was pretty straightforward.
And it just gets better and better. Listen to this response. "Oh, it's just that sometimes I'm online, but I'm not emotionally available." Of course, the other person won't want to be left out. So they say, "I get it, but emotionally available to see my breakfast, right?" It's a classic case of orbiting.
This response should be patented. Online, but emotionally unavailable. A great status phrase. It's almost millennial poetry.
Or a great name for a sad indie band.
Let's move on to the next one. It starts with, "Hey, we need to talk." It gives you that chill. Anyone who receives a message like that wonders what they did wrong. They just reply, "Sure. Everything okay?"
Well, you can obviously tell it's not.
And he replies, "I don't know. I think we're on different wavelengths. You want something more serious, and I'm still trying to figure out what I want. My friend, if you don't know what you want for yourself, who will?"
This seems a little too personal for you, Ava.
Anyway, the person comes clean and says, "You could have said that in person," but gets a "I know, but I thought it would be easier this way."
Easy for whom?
That was exactly the next message in the conversation.
No kidding.
"I'm serious."
This is so cliche, I can't believe people still use it. This screenshot hurts. It's the classic, "It's not you, it's me," but in an SMS version.
Easy for whom is the phrase that sums up the entire digital age of relationships.
I think to change the mood, let's now do a "Would you respond?" It works like this. We show the messages, then we ask whether we'd respond or ignore them. And we have to justify it, in both cases.
You can send the first one.
"Hi, I saw you're into astrology. I'm a Scorpio with Virgo rising. Is that a problem?"
I'd respond with a gif of someone running. Scorpio with Virgo is like intensity with control. It's like the perfect recipe for spreadsheet drama. But I confess I'm curious.
I'd reply just to ask if this means he'll love me intensely and then disappear without explanation. But seriously, Scorpio with Virgo rising? That sounds like someone who'll methodically stalk you.
My turn. "You seem amazing. Do you want to marry me, or would you rather just share a dog and pretend everything's fine?"
I'd ignore it. If the person is already torn between marriage and emotional escape on the first contact, imagine the second. But I admit it was creative. I give you points for boldness.
I'd reply with a wow. Because that message already comes with a proposal, an existential crisis, and a golden retriever. It's the complete combo of the emotionally confused generation.
Or he could be talking about sharing a hot dog. That could be it, too.
Yeah, that was a bit of a double entendre. Your turn.
Hi, you seem nice. Do you like bread? Seriously, who doesn't like bread?
I'd reply with a picture of a baguette. Because sometimes, the best response is to go crazy in style. And bread brings people together, right?
I'd reply with yes. And silence too. That's the most random message I've ever seen. More random than the dog one. But maybe it's brilliant. Maybe it's a metaphor for emotional sustenance.
Man shall not live by bread alone. That's right.
This conversation of ours makes me realize that modern love is a mix of confusion, creativity, and carbohydrates.
And whether or not we respond says more about us than the message.
Yeah, what the person said is one thing, what we understand is another.
This conversation made me want to eat bread.
And I've made me want to adopt a golden retriever. How strange.
Let's move on. Next, the I broke up by a text message section. It works like this. We'll read the breakup messages and decide if they're acceptable or unforgivable. And obviously, we'll judge, right, Andrew?
We wouldn't be here if we weren't going to judge. You can start with the first one.
Hi. I think we're in different places. You want love, I want silence. Good luck in life.
I think this person rehearsed this text in the mirror. Even rehearsed, it could have been better. It's the kind of breakup that comes with an indie movie soundtrack. But via text, cowardice with style.
That's almost poetic. But ending with good luck in life is like saying don't even dream about me. I'd just respond with a ghost emoji.
That seems appropriate. Next time, I forgot to tell you. I've become a monk. I can't have a relationship with anyone anymore. Goodbye.
I'd respond with namaste. Because if that's true, it's the most elevated ending I've ever seen. But if it's just an excuse, kudos for your creativity.
That's brilliant. There's no way to compete with the vow of silence and chastity. I wouldn't even respond. I'd just respect the spiritual retreat.
Next, you're amazing, but my therapist said I need to stop repeating patterns. And you're a pattern. That hurt. Being called a pattern is worse than many other things. I'd respond with my therapist's number, just to level the playing field.
I'd ignore it. If the person is outsourcing the breakup to the therapist, imagine how they're outsourcing their feelings. This is the kind of kid in school who said the dog ate their homework, always blaming others.
It's like Homer Simpson said, it's my fault, and I blame whoever I want.
Great, Homer. Breaking up by text is like resigning via post-it note. It works, but it leaves trauma.
Sometimes the message says more about the person doing the breaking up than the person being left. What do you think, Andrew?
I think it's time for me to go get my future golden retriever. And you to eat your bread. Before I wrap up, any message for anyone listening?
In the end, maybe digital love isn't any less real, just faster, more confusing, and with more notifications. But if you still believe in connection, even if it's over Wi-Fi, maybe there's still hope. If there's one thing we've learned today, it's that modern love comes with emojis, blocks, and sometimes vows of silence.
And that breaking up over text can be ugly, but it provides us with content. By the way, if you've ever been broken up with or been dumped over text, send it to us. We promise to judge with kindness, or not.
Thanks for listening, laughing, and maybe rethinking that good luck in life message you sent in 2019.
In the next episode, we'll bring up another hot topic to discuss. So like, subscribe, and follow us so you don't miss the next one.
Until then, if you're going to break up with someone, do it with dignity. Or at least with a good meme.
Bye, everyone. See you next time.